A throne fit for a king. That's what the Mariners Hall of Fame becomes today, as Felix Hernandez is inducted into the Seattle Mariners Hall of Fame, and rightfully so. But Felix meant so much more to Seattle and to the Mariners than just a average run-of-the-mill decent pitcher. Felix Hernandez embodied the Seattle Mariners, embodied the Seattle fans, and overall is someone who transcended the Mariners. Growing up, watching Felix Hernandez as I was playing baseball myself and being able to go to the King's Court, I cannot thank Felix enough for what he did for this city and for this fan base and for me personally. And the fact of the matter is, what Felix means to this organization might be more important than any other player in the history of the Mariners. Yeah, I mean even more important than Ken Griffey Jr. First, let's go over what Felix Hernandez, the pitcher, meant to the Mariners. Felix Hernandez is first in WAR, first in earned run average, first in wins, first in games started, first in games pitched, first in strikeouts, and the list goes on for King Felix. Felix threw the 23rd perfect game in history. He had an immaculate inning, and overall, Felix Hernandez for the Seattle Mariners was the best pitcher in their history. But more importantly, let's go over what Felix Hernandez meant to the fans. And this is something that Felix talked about, even in his perfect game. Let's listen to what he had to say after he threw his perfect game. It really goes to show how much he loved it here.
I got to throw one. I have to. I mean, I've been working so hard to throw one, and there it is for you guys. So, look at this. That's unbelievable. You got it. You know, it's for you guys. It's for you.
It's all for you, Felix said. This is for you guys. This perfect game, which was, until this year, the very last perfect game thrown in baseball. In my opinion, it still is, because Domingo Germán is a piece of human garbage. No other player for the Mariners had an entire section dedicated to them. Until now, Julio Rodriguez does. But at the time, Felix Hernandez, the King's Court, was the greatest section in all of baseball. And Felix himself says, what made him mean so much to the fans was that he stayed.
Felix, they showed your final start and you jumping into the crowd. Why do you think fans identified with you so much? They loved you so much. Is it because you stayed, or is it because how you pitch? Why do you think that they attached themselves to you so much?
I would say because I stayed, because it was fun to watch every 5 days when Felix pitched. They give me a lot of excitement too. So every time I jump into the mound, cross those two lines, and I just do more than 100%, 1,000% from them every single game.
Felix Hernandez could have walked. The King could have gone to the Yankees or any other team that would have offered him more money when he became a free agent, but instead, he chose to stay with the Seattle Mariners, something that had never happened before. The likes of A-Rod and Ken Griffey Jr., they all left. But not Felix. Felix stayed. This was his house, like he said in a start versus the Blue Jays. He left it all on the field, all the time for the fans, and he said that. He gave his 1,000% for the fans, even when he was not at his best, including his final game on September 26, 2019, when Felix took the mound one final time versus the Oakland Athletics. With every strikeout, he pointed to the King's Court. Coming off the field, he was in tears and thanking the fans for everything that they had done for him, and the fans, rightfully so, were also in tears and thanking him for everything he had done for them. And like something I'd never seen before, after the game, Felix Hernandez came out to the King's Court with everybody wearing a King Felix t-shirt, and he took a group picture. One of the greatest pictures of all time. It's impossible to overstate how much Felix Hernandez meant to this fan base. Even to this day, he is somebody who embodies what it means to be a Mariners fan. Felix is the best pitcher in Mariners history, and while he didn't always get a whole lot of run support, and he did not ever make it to the playoffs, he was a Mariner for life. He played for the Orioles, he played for the Braves, but he never pitched a regular season game for either of those teams. Felix pitched only for the Mariners. A 19-year-old kid from Valencia, Venezuela took the mound on August 4th, 2005 versus the Detroit Tigers, and he left the mound on September 26, 2019. A 14-year big league career for Felix Hernandez. As Mariners fans, we got to watch Felix grow up. We got to see all the hardships for him, but we also got to see him at his peak, the king of his own castle. And I think that's what makes him so special. Of course, Griffey, Mariners fans, we got to watch him grow up, but then he left. He went to Cincinnati, and rightfully so, it was his right. He went to Chicago, and he came back. Ichiro was traded to the Yankees. He then went to Miami, but he came back. But Felix, Well, Felix never left. I'm not sure what Felix has in store for his Hall of Fame speech later on today, but I can only tell you that his kingdom is going to be roaring in a sea of yellow with the Supreme Court back out there one final time. Felix takes his rightful spot amongst the stars of the Mariners history in the Mariners Hall of Fame. And when he walks out onto that field one last time while not in the Mariners Hall of Fame, I can only hope that we give him the love and respect that he gave the Mariners fans throughout his entire career. Thank you, Felix, for everything that you did for us. And congratulations for a throne fit for a king. The rise and the fall of King Felix is something that will be studied for generations. What exactly made Felix kind of lose his edge in the later years? Well, we took a deep dive on that in this video on the screen now. I want you to check that one out. Appreciate you guys watching this one. Congrats, Felix, and go Mariners.